yourself first. I will repeat, right? To be a good salesperson, and before you start selling a product or a service, you need to be comfortable enough to start selling yourself. The day you are comfortable enough to start selling yourself, your journey as a true salesperson has started. After that, it is just a matter of practicing the art with discipline and improving one step at a time. If we kind of think about a career path from a sales profession, right? Most of us start at the bottom rung. And like most of you, I also kind of started in a similar way. Okay? And then there comes a point where there are two or more than two options available with us. One option is, I love sales. More than that, I love being in the field. And we continue to rise up that ladder, right? Managing, say, sales in a city or a sub-region, then a RSM, then a ZSM, then a NSM, and then maybe the head of the business, right? That is how the sales progression works in most product companies, services companies, and SaaS companies as well today. Right? The other career path is, I love selling, but I want to sell it internally within my organization. And that is where you move to an office or a desk job. This point of divergence can come 2 years into your career, 2 months in your career, or 2 decades in your career, but it always comes. And it is a choice most of us as salespeople exercise. A lot of times it also happens we want to exercise this choice and it is not given to us. And that is when we look at the rear view mirror and ask ourselves, why am I not perceived of choosing between the both options? Why is only one option being presented to me? Why are people and their thinking within the organization or within the ecosystem that I sell are so, let me use the word, right? They're so influenced. You already have, in your subconscious mind, the image of the person. Similarly, your image is in the subconscious mind of the decision makers. And they're like, hey, stay in the field. You're doing very well in the field. Don't come to corporate, right? Now, how do you build up your personal brand to break it? And we go back to the basics from where I started, right? To love this world, you have to love yourself. To sell a product or service, first you have to be ready to sell yourself. Because once you sell yourself, relationships get developed, trust gets developed, and relationships matter. Okay. Now, in today's day and age, how do you sell yourself? Okay. In earlier, say 2 decades ago, when I started my career, an easy way to sell yourself was reference, right? Someone would take you over there and say, this is a person I know and my responsibility, right? Start dealing with this person. I'm there to help and support. And then slowly you build up a network. This was a classic way of building, right? If you're working for a brand, the reputation of the brand has a rub-off effect on you as a salesperson. From being a medical representative to, say, a salesperson of a FMCG company to selling insurance policies, this is the way it operates, and it has kind of always operated. But in today's day and age, what happens? You meet someone, you exchange phone numbers, and the next thing that happens is a message gets exchanged on WhatsApp. And after that, if the person wants to do business with you, they will look you up. And they can look you up on any platform, right? It is not limited to professional platform or personal platform or this platform or that platform. People can look you up on any platform. And therefore, the big transformation in the way we live in the last decade or so has been that every person, and I'm saying this with a lot of seriousness and mark my words over here, we are a media channel in ourselves today. And that is the big change that has happened in the last decade or so, right? That what we do, how we do, personally or professionally, is all out there. And the trick of today's era is how carefully you think about your profile or your personal brand and project it outwards. By outwards, I mean is not like you can't influence your brand that is today too much. But how would it be perceived in 2 years' time? How would it be perceived in 5 years' time? And how would it be perceived in 10 years' time? Is something you can think, write, and plan and work in a reverse manner. Like life as a CV concept is there today from a professional perspective. Earlier, resume was our concept. Hey, these are the things that I've done. These are the situations I've managed. These were my responsibilities. These were the results I have achieved. Right. But today it is life as a CV. Whatever you've done in your life, all of the sum total of that is kind of seen today. So, how does one go about creating a personal brand for themselves that suits their career objectives, right? And B, how does one plan about it in the future? How do we build a personal brand? I'm going to take you through a series of slides and take you through the process of thinking about and building your personal brand online. Now, uh, of the many tools available to build our personal brand online, one of them is LinkedIn. That's our organization that I work for. And I'm going to kind of share a little bit of tidbits about it. Okay. How do you build up your personal brand? In today's day and age, your LinkedIn profile is the starting point for employers to discover you. So I will talk about three layers. The first layer is a hygiene layer. What does a hygiene layer mean? It means something everybody should do. It is a must have to proceed to level 2 and level 3, where you will start receiving the results. And therefore, building a good LinkedIn profile is the first step or hygiene that we should be doing. Uh, a LinkedIn profile primarily consists of three parts. The first part is the header. This is the first thing that we should kind of focus upon. The second part is your experience and educational qualifications, right? And the third part is the publications that you've done. And we'll go into the details of this one by one. The difference between different social media platforms where you may be present on, and how the same object would be spoken about, or how you would post about the same object in different social media platforms, right? If you're on Facebook, most probably you'll say, I like a gulab jamun. If you are in Snap, you might be kind of watch me eat a gulab jamun in a rather unique way. Okay. If you're on Insta, I'm sure you will go and you will catch that photograph of gulab jamun, which looks totally yummy. There's a little bit of pistachio nuts on the top, right? There's a little bit of chashni in it in a very nice looking plate. And it's like, okay, 50 likes from your friends. If you are on Pinterest, most probably you've put up multiple ways of, creating a gulab jamun, right? From milk at home to the ready mix that you get from Milkmaid to any other way, right? If you're on Spotify, maybe you're hearing the gulab jamun mix. And that's how it differs, right? And maybe on WhatsApp, you're posting it on your friends group if you want to kind of catch up for a gulab jamun, right? But if you need to write about gulab jamuns in the context of LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a network for professional networking. Okay. Starting with a gulab jamun franchise, greatgulabjamuns.com, right? Or I'm looking for a job at a gulab jamun company, right? Maybe Haldiram, for example. If you are a chef, I have 3 years of experience in making gulab jamuns, maybe at one of the top restaurants in town, right? And say if you are in a processed food industry, you can say my top skills are gulab jamun production and sales. And maybe here are the three recommendations from former colleagues who work in the same industry. What you are talking about changes from platform to platform. Make sure that you write these three things. What is the situation or task you were assigned with? The second part then you should write is the action that you took. And it is about what you did always. Easy to read and legible. Because that is exactly what the hiring manager is looking for. How you can launch a career using LinkedIn. We spoke about getting hired, and to get hired, the first thing that we need or the hygiene is building a good profile. Okay. The second thing, which is building a career, right, is where building your brand comes into the picture. And building your brand is a medium to long term investment. It does not happen over time. So, two things are very important. The first thing that is very important is you need to have a goal or an aspiration. And from that goal or aspiration, you'll be able to write a plan. That's the first thing. The second thing that's really important is discipline. How do you build your professional brand? Or why you should build your professional brand? So, 9 out of 10 company recruiters use LinkedIn. So, the people who are there to search for people like you are on this platform. So, you have to be on that platform, number one, right? Number two is just being on this platform is not easy enough because there are 80 crore people like you on this platform already globally. And almost 10 crores of them are from India. So you need to also have a way to shine on this platform or be a star, right? Now, what is the hygiene over here? We spoke about that the profile being hygiene. I'll say 5 things: education, photo, experience, any volunteering work you've done, and skills. Now, why is education important? Inadvertently, the hiring manager or recruiters, the moment they start liking your profile, the next section they go to is where have you studied? And they do it for two reasons. One is they might be looking at people from certain institutes. And the second one is they might want to take reference from people who are from the same institute and have worked in the company before. Most medium to large size organizations, they keep a track of which kind of colleges they have hired from and what is the resume that they have. So putting up your education matters. The second thing that matters is your photograph. And on this one, I'll say that there is a very specific kind of photograph that works. It needs to be a headshot, which means this much. It needs to be a 45-degree tilt with shoulders showing. That is the best headshot that works. You can Google it, you can find it, but get that headshot done. A very simple stat which is staggering is a profile with a photo versus a profile without a photo. There is 21x impact difference. The third one is experience, right? So write your experience, and in the experience, make sure you use the STAR methodology. What was the situation and task? What were the actions you have taken? And what was the result that you have achieved? If you do well and you have at least two profiles or two experience added, right? There's up to a 36x chance of your profile featuring up as compared to other profiles. The fourth one is volunteer experience. if you do social service, you do something else, right? You donate, put it up over there. Because today's day and age, every company, every recruiter wants to know about yourself, not only with respect to the work that you've done and the skills that you have, but also with respect to what are the things that matter to you. And if they're aligned with the culture and values of the organization. And the last one is skills. So there's a stat over here, right? If you add 5 or more skills, you'll get 17 times more profile views. The other thing is there is already integrated assessments. If you say you have a skill, you can actually take an assessment and it will judge if you have a skill level or not, right? I'll give you a very interesting fact. 25% of all skills that are available on LinkedIn today did not exist 5 years ago, which means skills or new skills are getting added in the professional ecosystem at a very rapid pace. So, say content, social media content creator. Like this skill wasn't there 6 or 7 years ago. Today, social media content creators and ghostwriters are one of the most sought after skills where people are actually hiring these people to manage their profiles on social media. So once you build the profile, right, you have been able to kind of uh, make sure that you have a profile that is very uh, attractive for the target company and the target job. The next step is how do you go about searching for a job? The experience you put should be relatable to your profile because it demonstrates the kind of skills that you've got. But your volunteering experience need not be, because that demonstrates who you are. I hope that clarifies. Now, if you are, you know, studying either full time as a student or part time as a student, okay, you already have a very long list of things to do. Knowing what is a starting point can help you navigate to your goals faster. Recommendations are a very important ingredient for conversion. What does that mean? Say I am a recruiter. As a recruiter, I'm looking for a certain profile of people. I look at the profile of people and I say, okay, here these profiles are looking good. Next stage, I look at experience. Okay, experience is relevant. Next stage, I look at the skills and say skills are relevant and the education is relevant. Now, at that point of time, the difference that comes is recommendation. I see someone in the industry who's highly reputed has recommended someone and the other person does not have recommendations. Now that immediately creates a case of, hey, if this person is highly recommended, the chances of me finding a good quality candidate is much higher. Because people do not give loose recommendations, especially people who have a lot of reputation in the industry. They will politely decline, but they will not give a recommendation for the sake of giving a recommendation because their own professional brand depends on it. And therefore, like recommendations, I'll say keep them limited, but keep them of the highest order and quality. Recommendations matter when it comes from an expert in the industry. So look at where your alumni are. That's the simplest point, right? And getting a referral is still the best way to find a job. Why do we say so? So there is, of course, a campus process, right? But outside of the campus process, the number one way by which companies hire today is by employee referrals. And the chances that one of your alumni from any of the places you've studied before or where you worked before as well, alumni can be both, okay, in their company, they being able to refer you If they feel you are suitable for a job, your chances to get in multiply multifold. In today's day and age, people are very choosy whom they are recommending because their own reputation inside the company depends on it. They, if they recommend someone who's not appropriate, they will get feedback from HR, from the hiring manager, or the top leadership of the company, right? And their own reputation goes for a toss. Therefore, it is really important that you ask for recommendations only when your profile is relevant to have higher chance of referral conversion. Of course, you need to start building a professional network, because the size of your network will determine how many people you can reach out to. It will also determine how many people you have visibility to. The simplest way to do it is, if you do not have any job experience, start with networking with people you know who have experience. And who would the first set of people you know who has experience? One is your teachers and professors. The second is people in your family, if they are in the professional arena and already on LinkedIn. And the third is your friends and classmates. Also, see, once you connect with these people, then you move to the next level. Their networks open up for you. And then you connect with relevant people. But one thing I'll tell you, connect with a purpose. Don't connect without a purpose. When you reach out to people, you say, hey, I do this. This is what I'm interested in. And I'm connecting to you for potentially this purpose or for this reason. You have to say who you are, how you came to know about them, and how they can help you. The next thing is, like, do your research about a job. One way to do that is to read job descriptions, but don't stop over there. Go and read about the company on multiple platforms to understand about the company and understand about what the team does, the specific team that you've applied for. Knowing the mission and vision of a company or the culture and values of a company, you can actually intertwine your own sales pitch as to how you're going to sell yourself, right? About who you are and what the company stands for, the potential company. Like, if you're able to mix that into a story very well, your chances of conversion go up significantly. Let's come to building our own profile, right? Set up job alerts, the companies that you like, right? You set up those job alerts so that you can kind of look at those jobs, you get recommended similar kind of jobs, and you can apply to those kind of jobs. Of course, follow the companies that you like, follow influencers you like. And the last one, follow industries. Okay. How do you go ahead and catch people's attention? All this, you have a presence and you are reaching out to people. And this is where I'll kind of come back and say that this, you will do all of this, but it might happen that 30% other people are also doing all of it. And you will still find that that is a huge section of people right now. How do you appear different? Now, this is where your capability to be a content creator stands out. You need to start creating content and posting content. I typically call it the rule of three. Three things you have to do on a daily basis. The first thing is post daily. Either repost somebody else's post, or create your own post and do it daily. The second thing is comment daily. How do you comment? You identify 4 or 5 hashtags as in the topics that which are the most applicable to you. And when you see a post, you comment on that. Once you engage with other people, that engagement means a lot of other people who are passionate about the same topic engage with you. The third one I'll say is join groups, like sales professional groups, cloud selling groups, pharma selling groups, and contribute over there. That improves your reputation points, and also, like, potential hiring managers look at you as someone who's knowledgeable. So do these three things, and by itself, now the platform provides you a lot of tools. For example, you can actually, instead of going every day and posting, you can schedule your posts now. This will be posted today afternoon, this will be posted tomorrow morning. You can do all of that stuff. There's a clock icon that you'll see on the platform now. You can kind of use it pretty well. The second thing is, creating content is easier than ever in today's day and age. Say you have to create an image and you have the description of your image in mind. You can just use a free tool called DALL-E, DALLE. You write the image down, it will create an image for you. You can go ahead and post that image. Right? You want to talk about a topic, right? You can just go to a tool like ChatGPT, type ChatGPT, give it the right hook, it will give you something. Pick it up, don't post it just like this, right? Modify it and add your perspective on top of it, and then kind of post it. Okay. So what I'll say is, one, build your profile, right? And follow the companies, the industries, the jobs that are of interest to you. Number two, post, right? Be a content creator. That will bring you in the top 5%. So the journey of being part of the 100% to 30% to 5% is this. And today, coming into the 5% is not difficult as long as you are an early adopter of a lot of free AI technology available right now. Right. And the third part I will say is, make learning a habit. Right. Learn new things and improve yourself. Share with others how you're improving. So we actually created this kind of a tool in the home itself, and now I even kind of got it printed. Right. So it is primarily my learning habit. Okay. And what I do is I post it in the front of my children's desk. And what they do is, every day they have a learning routine. The learning routine is very simple. The first thing you have to kind of do to learn every day is first clear your mind and clear your space. So the first thing is always clear your desk where you want to study and put away your mobile or any gadget that you are using. Right. The third is meditate for 2 to 5 minutes. Once you meditate, right, and this is a gadget you can build at home. It's a very simple DIY thing that you can do, right? So once you meditate, what happens is, it allows your mind to get cleared. It allows thoughts to come in and process and retain the right things, and the unnecessary things to kind of go out. Okay. The third thing that you need to do right after is, choose the subject you want to study. If you try to study more than one subject at the same point of time, more often than not, you will not end up retaining anything. The next thing from a learning perspective you should be doing is, start with something you studied earlier. Always revise it first. Now, what will happen is, when you start with something you've already read earlier, it will give you confidence. Even like when you give a presentation, most of the time, since all of you are salespeople, you start with a fact that your listener already knows. Right? Why? Because once they hear something they know, they start nodding. The moment they start nodding, like, they have a relationship of trust in the conversation, then you introduce the new concepts with them. So similarly, when you are learning, it is really important that you start with something that you've already read, you revise it, and then you do a little bit of assessment to figure out if you're doing it well or not. Right? Then you pick up the new topic and study. But don't be hard on yourself that I have to learn this 100%. Just pick up the new topic to study, glance over it, understand it. But most important, make notes. Now, once you make notes, next time you'll pick it up and study, and you start from this cycle after meditation, right? That, hey, I'm revising what I studied earlier. And the second iteration, it will like totally be there in your brain, and it will be kind of 100% clear. So have a learning orientation, learn. And this learning can be for course content based learning. But even if you're not doing any course, learning is a continuous process in today's professional age. Learn new things, right? Read new things, even like learning about your social media presence. You will write a post. Don't think if the post is good or bad, just post it. Then what will happen is you'll study other people posts on the same topic on the same hashtag. That is a learning for yourself. Make a note of it. Look at your old post, rewrite it, and then go ahead and post it. Or you're more comfortable posting videos. You shoot a 10-second video, a 30-second video, or 2-minute video, post it over there. What will happen is the more you post, the more feedback you will get. The more you will be inclined to see what others are posting in the same format. And then the process of continuous improvement sets in. And it is said that even if you improve 1% every day, at the end of a year, you might be 10 to 30 times improved as compared to, making no improvement and trying to improve once a year or twice a year. So the power of compounding or the compounding effect is great. Small steps over a long period of time are much better than large steps sometimes. The number one thing expected from you is to be a talent magnet. Why? Because the better quality talent you will be able to attract, that is a huge competitive advantage, because the rest of the business is already kind of set up. And how would you be a talent magnet? Because like when people can relate to your personality, how are you able to do it? Like you will be able to scale it much better using digital media. And I will say that, not everybody is a digital native. Look at kids today, 2 years to 4 years old, they are digital natives. Give them a screen, they'll figure out how it works. Right? That is not true for a lot of people who've spent 2 or 3 decades in the industry already. And that is where I'll say go and take help. You'll find a lot of content creators, personal branding specialists who will help you chart out your goals, your journey, and also feed you with the right kind of content and support to even build your profile. Because at a senior level, what is really important is that you control the narrative. Everything you'll say in public will be interpreted in one way or another. And therefore, like getting expert help would be advisable. Once you get comfortable with it, you can kind of do it yourself. And like these services aren't very expensive these days. Means that if you are already at a senior level, you can very easily kind of afford it, because this is what I'll say self PR, and it matters. For like I said, in a senior role, the first thing you need to is a talent magnet, so that if a really accomplished senior person wants to join your company, and they say, hey, the manager is this, the boss is going to be this, so oh yes, like I would like to work for this guy, because there's something to learn from this person. Okay. The second thing that's important is that you have a clearly articulated vision or strategy. You might have it in your mind. Your head of strategy may be able to articulate it, but the more you will speak about it, the more you'll be able to share about, of course, only the things that can be shared publicly, right? The more people will associate with your brand, the more they associate with your brand, the easier it would be for the rest of your organization to do business, and hence the growth of the company and growth for yourself. So that is the second thing you need to do in a senior leadership position. Talk about the vision and the strategy. Okay. The third thing that one needs to kind of do apart from these things in a senior leadership position is lead by example. But how would others know that you are leading by example? Okay. Only when you give a glimpse into what your habits are, what your routines are, and how you are doing it well. I'll give you an example. Like One person was hired after 25 years into a competitor. And I'm talking about global big brands, say Dell and Samsung, for example. Can't share the name of the person, can't share the name of the brand. The person joined the first day, said, okay, I have a 35,000 crore business to run. I'm not going to come to office for the next month. I will come back and join office in a month's time. Guess what this business leader did? He visited every state, every distributor in that month's time, and traveled with the delivery trucks to see the complete experience. Came back and said, okay, let's talk about business and let's start running business in the normal corporate lifestyle. But what he did was he had that experience, and he then started to understand and relate to people and do things. When I met this business leader, the first question I asked him is, why did you not record your journey and share your journey? If you would have shared your journey, you might have got 10x the impact. Because only, say, of our organization of 16,000, 18,000 people, you could only meet 200 people in a month. How would the remaining come to know that you know this and you care about this? So from a leadership perspective, these three things, in my opinion, matter. And to do this, once again, going back, like having a plan, having an action plan, having a goal, having an action plan to execute it, along with making it as a part of your routine, that I have to go online and post, and do it at least once or twice every day is really important. In real life also, there are a lot of critics and there's a lot of negativity. If you follow positive people, if you connect with positive people, that is how you need to kind of look at it. If you feel somebody is overtly negative, posts overtly negative, you can, break the connection with them. You can mute their posts. You can do a lot of things. See, in life, for anything, prioritization matters. Number one. And the basic meaning of prioritization is two things. The first thing, the basic meaning of prioritization is you need to know what to say no to. And the second meaning of prioritization is it is not prioritization until unless it hurts. It prioritization will hurt, otherwise it was just an optional thing. Common similarity in successful people is all of them have good habits and a routine that they follow. That is like an engine or a train that runs every day. And every day they make this incremental progress. Like you read any book, from Good to Great to 7 Habits of Highly Effective People to Atomic Habits, any book you read, it will come down to this one trait.